Chelsea with Sanchez in goal, Humphries, Disasi, Colwell, Diego Moreira and Cucurella, Gallagher, Ukachukwu, Madueke, Matson and Birdstow. And for AFC Wimbledon, all in white and shooting from left to right in this first half. They've got Bass in goal, the back four of Ugandir, Lewis, Pearce, Johnson the back four, Tilley, Ball, Williams and Nerfield, Pell and Davison up front. We've had a full start from our referee, so we will eventually get underway. And Wimbledon will launch the ball high upfield. That was very Wimbledon, wasn't it? Get it straight from the kick-off and launch it high into the air. They've done just that. Chelsea have won it back on halfway. Madueke trying to get down the right-hand side. And then eventually the ball is cleared forward by AFC Wimbledon. We'll try and work out that formation. Does look like a more of an orthodox 4-4-2 with Humphries playing at right back, Colwell and Disasi playing as two centre-halves tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happened, and we wonder whether it would be a similar situation of what we've seen in the league so far. And the players lend themselves to be able to play that system, but it looks like he's gone back to a kind of a system that he had more so in pre-season. I mean, really, the three at the back has been more of the surprise at the start of the season, but they're certainly playing four at the moment with...
it's four with Leslie Ukachukwu just dropping into the three there as they started to build up.
Yeah, and again, it's very fluid. You know, without the ball, it would be a four. With the ball, Cucurella is pushing on in the sense that Ben Chilwell's been doing as well. So, in that way, it's similar to how we've seen in the league so far. But it's a very fluid system. You can't just call it that's how it is, both with and without the ball.
Here is Ukachukwu, who's 6'4". He signed from French football earlier in the game, in the season. And he's got the ball in the centre of the park. He plays it out towards the wide right position. It's collected by Humphries, then back into Disasi, who's tried to angle the ball from right side of the centre circle out to the left, and Diego Moreira. Matson tries to win it, manages to do so, and then turns the ball into Cucurella. Good turn by Burstow under a little bit of pressure, and that pressure came from Lewis, but he shielded the ball well and sent it wide towards the right. Chelsea in possession. We've played just over a minute and a half on TalkSport 2. It's Chelsea 0, AFC Wimbledon 0. Gallagher back to Madueke, and then Humphries across to Ukachukwu, who wants to see a lot of the ball in the early stages of the game. He's huge, he's only 19 years of age. He's the biggest player on the pitch by a country mile, isn't he?
They get bigger and bigger now. I remember when I first started, Sam, you know, the players were the sort of size of me when you look in the tunnel area, and then by the end of the time I played, I sort of look across and then you have to look up, and your right wing is 6'2". They are absolute athletes nowadays.
Tony Harrington is the referee tonight. There is no VAR this evening. If anything goes awry, then I'm afraid it's at the door of the referee who's on the field. Well, that's probably a good thing. There's one or two of the people watching the US Open last night were quite pleased when VAR failed there. Ball cleared upfield by the goalkeeper Alex Bass, formerly of Sunderland for Wimbledon. Up high over the halfway line it goes. There are four other games in this competition tonight, which we're following on TalkSport 2, plus PSV against Rangers, which kicks off at 8 o'clock this evening. That game finally poised, and Chelsea building up inside their own half, away to our right, and a relatively good, healthy crowd here at Stamford Bridge tonight for this Carabao Cup second round tie between AFC Wimbledon and Chelsea. The ball on the halfway line, and Madueke has it, hair pinned back by that thick headband, almost like a bandana. And it's flicked back to Ukachukwu, who switches the play to Cucurella. Infield it goes to Matson, who was on loan at Burnley last season. He's being chased in the middle of the park by Pell, who's usually a number 10, but it's being forced back in the early stages here. The captain tonight is Conor Gallagher, and he's on the edge of the centre circle. Wide it goes to Humphries, and Chelsea just keeping possession in the early exchanges, Scott.
Yeah, you'd expect that, and I wasn't surprised by the start at all.
Here is Moreira down the left-hand side. Diego Moreira trying to get on the end of a long ball into the left channel, but he couldn't control it as it went over the top of the last line of the Wimbledon defence, and it runs through to the goalkeeper. But that's the third or fourth time they've tried a big diagonal ball. This one closer towards the edge of the Wimbledon penalty area, but Moreira's touch let him down.
Yeah, just about to say that at the very start, you're right, it was Wimbledon, and they've got to try and play a little bit physical. There's no point in trying to come to Stamford Bridge and outplay this Chelsea side, even if it had been a lot of changes from a Premier League side. But, you know, Chelsea are looking for the long pass. It's not a long ball, it's a long pass, and for those runs in behind. One person I'm really interested to watch is Mason Burstow, who I saw come through the ranks at Charlton. And I did think when the the buy was made that he'd be a million miles from the Premier League, let alone for a club like Chelsea, because he was a goal scorer. But in terms of playing in men's football, he looked like he wasn't quite ready. But he's had a very good pre-season, and great to see him get minutes on the pitch and starting tonight.
Right, chasing down the left is Cucurella, who tries to stop the clearance from Wimbledon. And it's out for a throw-in, just level with the edge of the penalty area away to our left-hand side. Maatsen combines with Cucurella, and then Diego Moreira tries to play it down the left. The ex-Benfica man loses out once more, then tries to funnel back and win it. Cucurella does just that, turns it over, and Maatsen then brings it forward. It's Madueke into Conor Gallagher, who's 25 yards from goal, encouraged to shoot. Works it wide towards the right-hand side. Back into Gallagher. Madueke takes it on. Then he turns it back to Gallagher. A little 1-2 down the right side. Doesn't quite come off for Chelsea. And the ball's collected over on the far side by Wimbledon. And Murphy tries to get away, but ends up tangling himself in the legs of Bashir Humphries. And it's going to be a free kick to Chelsea over on the far side. So it's sometimes difficult when you're playing in a game like this. You're expected to win and win well, and you've got a few sort of raw talents in the team to find your rhythm in the early exchanges, and very difficult for Wimbledon to come here and try and impose themselves on the game as well, because if you can't get a kick on the ball, you can get frustrated very quickly.
No, you can, but you also come here and you expect that. I was here on Friday where Luton came. For the first 20 minutes, it was literally a boxer on the ropes trying to keep a clean sheet. They conceded, and if they'd conceded a second, the game would have been over. The longer they kept it at 1-0, they were in the game up until the second, which is it came in the second half. But Wimbledon would expect this, so they won't have a problem with not having much possession. But when they do get the ball, they need to make sure they do something quality with it.
Ball up on this near side. As Tony Harrington pulled it back for a foul on halfway, because Disasi looked as if he'd just nudged Davison in the back. The referee allowed play to continue and then has pulled it back and given a free kick to Wimbledon just short of the halfway line. 7 minutes gone, no goals in any of the other games so far in the Carabao Cup tonight, and around about 7 minutes gone in all of those games, including the game at Harrogate, Nottingham Forest and Sheffield United. Doncaster Everton kicks off at 8 o'clock this evening. Remember, any of the games are level by the time we get to 90 minutes. It goes to penalties in the Carabao Cup straight away, no extra time, and it made for an exciting viewing last night. I was at the Craven Cottage, and it was a brilliant end to the game. It was a very good game actually, and Fulham were terrific in it. They were aggressively pressing Tottenham points in that match, and it really unsettled Ange Postecoglou's side. Chelsea do not want to be on the wrong end of a defeat here tonight. Is this your favourite fixture, because you scored a free kick in a game between these two in 1996, didn't you? You weren't in that side that went out, were you, in 1995 in the second round?
Who was it to? I don't even know. I remember getting knocked out in the FA Cup to Millwall here on penalties. But in terms of this competition,
Stoke City it was, I think.
No, I was probably injured. I don't remember that. I usually was in the first 2 years of my career at Chelsea.
The ball's out on the far side. We're waiting for a throw into Wimbledon. There is an injury on halfway here for Wimbledon. Just trying to get a indication as to who it is who's down. The physio is just masking our view at this moment in time. Meanwhile, Ogundia comes over to speak to Johnny Jackson in the away dugout just to get a little bit of information. And the player who's struggling is Joe Lewis, the Welsh defender, who's gone down and now has to come off the field of play. And they're warming up a couple of substitutes as a result of that, just to make sure that if he does have to be replaced, they've got options ready.
They won't want him to be injured, because he's come in this season and done really well at the heart of that defence. Normally him and Johnson are the two centre halves, both from Stockport, of course.
Ball is out over on the far side, touched away by Bashir Humphries for Chelsea, and it goes out by the corner flag for a Wimbledon throw over on the far side. Chelsea humbled by their 12th place finish last season. They're entering unfamiliar territory in the EFL Cup tonight. They're taking part in the second round of the tournament for the first time since 2016-17. Interestingly, that year they went on to win the league.
Go on, Sam. I like that, Sam.
Ball thrown in from the far side. Davison tries to receive it, touches it back towards the edge of the penalty area. Nerfield helps it on. There's a cross into the box, which is a little bit ambitious from Johnson. And Ryan Johnson, who scored against Sutton United recently, launches that a little bit too high into the penalty area. It goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right hand side. But Matthew Harding stand away to our right, almost full. Same with the lower tiers of the west stand. I can't see the top tier, I'm afraid, from here, but we're pretty packed in the east stand tonight. A couple of segregation sections in the shed end where the away fans are, but apart from that, it's a relatively well-attended second round affair here at Stamford Bridge this evening in the Carabao Cup, the draw for which, by the way, is immediately after tonight. We'll see, I think all the teams that are in Europe end up entering into the competition tonight as well. Big night for those teams, because tomorrow they've got the Champions League and the Europa League draws as well, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Here comes Cucurella down the left-hand side, towards the edge of the Wimbledon penalty area. The cross from Diego Moreira is a good one. It's through the 6-yard box and it goes out the other side. Madueke manages to skip past the defender as he returns it into the box and skips past another, gets to the byline, tries to produce a cross. I think it went out before he crossed it. He's claiming a handball, but the ball had already crossed the line and gone out for a goal kick, I'm afraid.
Yeah, and it was a great ball from Moreira. It really was. He just, one of those sort of get half a yard and then whip it round the defender. Mason Burstow couldn't quite get there, and then you're just looking for someone to get in at the far post to try and read the situation. Madueke is a little bit off it, but he looked sharp when he picked up the ball and just overran it a little bit. But that's the closest Chelsea have come. 10 minutes gone. I'm sure Wimbledon and Johnny Jackson will be delighted so far.
Jake Garrett scored for Blackburn Rovers away at Harrogate, former Liverpool and Everton trainee. He's only played a handful of appearances in the league for Blackburn, but he's on the score sheet tonight, and Blackburn lead away from home at Harrogate by a goal to nil. This is TalkSport 2, 11 minutes played. It's 0-0 between Chelsea and Wimbledon in the second round of the Carabao Cup. And Axel Disasi, who started brightly, I think, against Liverpool and has had a couple of wobbly moments since then. He moved from Monaco in the summer after the injuries to Badiashile and to Wesley Fofana, and he's played in all of the games so far as Axel Disasi. He scored his first goal in that Liverpool game. Here is Madueke out to the right hand side, a chance maybe for Bashir Humphries to cross. He's gone up towards the edge of the penalty area, check back, giving it to Gallagher to Uga Chukwu, a little touch around the corner, and then Gallagher is released into the penalty area. Burstow peels off, the ball to him wasn't accurate enough. It comes back to Humphries on the edge of the area, and then it's scuppered away and cleared upfield by Ball and out towards the far side, and eventually out for a throw into Chelsea inside their own half. 0-0.
Yeah, really well worked play down the right hand side there, and you can see there were just runners off the ball, and Conor Gallagher got there. He's looking for that cutback. Just the execution of the ball wasn't quite right, because Mason Burstow read it. He knew what Gallagher was going to do, but in the end it was just played a little bit behind him. But decent play from Chelsea.
0-0. Still no shot on target from Chelsea, and we've played 12 minutes and they've given the ball away cheaply far side. Madueke is putting pressure on Ball, and then there is not too much pressure on Pearce, who puts the ball straight out of play over on the far side. Alex Pearce just sort of losing his coordinates and sending the ball into touch, and Chelsea have got it back again. Disasi to Levi Colwell. It'll be interesting to see how many matches he plays this season. He played a bit for, well, quite a lot for Brighton last campaign, and he wanted to play first team football this year. He's certainly done that up until this point. Madueke, after that long ball from Colwell, twists and turns in the right wing position, approaches the edge of the penalty area, a low ball into the near post, which is steered away by Alex Pearce into the air, and it runs out towards the touchline and then goes out for a corner, the first of the game, and it goes in Chelsea's favour.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Levi Colwell, and not just in terms of trying to establish himself in a Chelsea shirt, but if he's able to do that and Chelsea have a good season, then there's every chance he can get into the squad and maybe even the team for England in the Euros come the summer.
And certainly that's what he'll be hoping for. He was part of the Huddersfield team that were promoted to the Premier League, then went to Brighton, 22 appearances last season, 17 in the Premier League. He's got 11 caps for the England under-21 team, and he was called up to train with the squad during the last international break of last season, ahead of that under-21 championships which England went on to win. Gareth Southgate has name-checked him a couple of times in press conferences, and that squad is out tomorrow, actually.
Well, I think it's going to be very difficult for a lot of the, if not almost all of the under-21 players, despite them having a fantastic summer and winning the tournament, to actually break in to the England team. But I think Levi has the best chance out the lot, I really do.
Well, he certainly won't have too much of a chance going forward. Only 28% of starters in the first 3 weeks of the season were eligible for England in the Premier League, so there's every chance that they might well get picked up.
Yeah, and look, you know, it's a low percentage, but it's about quality, isn't it? It's about the young English players making sure they're proving to their managers they're good enough.
Absolutely. Conor Gallagher, who's started every game for Chelsea so far this season, captains the team tonight, has it in central midfield. Turns, and is faced up by Davison, plays it square to the right. Just a couple of yards inside his own half is Bashir Humphries. He made his debut actually in a game in the FA Cup last season against Manchester City. Good ball into Matson, who holds it well under real pressure from both sides, left and right. One of them was coming from Tilly, and the other one I think was Pell, putting him under real pressure, and he somehow emerged out of that tight gap and ended up losing the ball, but eventually Chelsea got it back again. Now they've given it back to Neufville over on the far side. He's felled by Conor Gallagher. It's going to be a free kick 25 yards from goal on the left-hand side.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to foul in that position where we talked about Wimbledon are going to find it very difficult to create chances in open play. So if they are able to get into the final third somehow and just win a free kick, then it's about set piece. And we know when it comes to set pieces, you know, anything can happen if a really quality ball comes in, and certainly Wimbledon would have been practiced on this.
Well, they are one of the very few teams in the country that can proudly claim to be coming into this fixture and this round of fixtures not having lost a single game in the 23-24 campaign. Were denied a third successive win at the weekend when they lost to Forest, well, they drew with Forest Green Rovers after a late goal at Plough Lane. Free kick over on the far side. Tilly standing over it. Also standing over it is Williams. There's a two-man Chelsea wall just in front of the 18-yard box, and then everybody else lined up inside the D. Williams delivers the ball towards the far post. Goalkeeper Sanchez comes out, not the cleanest of punches, and it's a penalty. Robert Sanchez has haymakered Davison in the face as he came out to try and grab that loose ball, and the referee Tony Harrington had no hesitation, has pointed to the spot, and AFC Wimbledon have the chance to take the lead.
Wow, and this is what I'm talking about. You don't give away that foul in the first place. Conor Gallagher just got to try and shepherd Neufville and make sure you don't give him the opportunities. It was a decent ball in. I wouldn't say it was a brilliant ball in. And Robert Sanchez, the size that he is, it's got to be one of those where if you're coming for it, you have to know that you're going to win it. And he's literally just punched Davison. He's still down at the moment. I think he's okay. The physio's on. But, oh my goodness me, from a Chelsea point of view, it's exactly what you don't want. From a Wimbledon point of view,
it's terrific.
It's been perfect. You know, not defensively, despite Chelsea having all the possession, they've looked comfortable. Not many chances created, hardly any at all. In fact, they've not even had a shot off target, let alone on target, Chelsea. You go down the other end, we talked about set pieces, how important they are, and now they have a wonderful opportunity to go 1-0 up. And look, there's not many of the Wimbledon fans there, although they have brought as many as they possibly could. I tell you what, I can hear them now.
Davison's getting back to his feet now. It's going to be James Tilley, who scored a penalty against Wrexham earlier in the season, to put the ball on the spot. Their leading goal scorer.
I think he's missed a couple as well this season.
Yeah, and he's got the opportunity to get his fifth goal of the season against Robert Sanchez. 18 minutes gone in the Carabao Cup. Chelsea of the Premier League against Wimbledon of League 2, and the League 2 side with a chance to go in front. Tilly steps up, left footed, blast! AFC Wimbledon into the lead at Stamford Bridge. Wimbledon 1, Chelsea 0 at Stamford Bridge, and James Tilley runs from one end of the ground to the other to celebrate in front of the Wimbledon fans at the shed end after smashing in his fifth goal of the season. Another from the penalty spot, and in a shock circumstance at Stamford Bridge, it's the League 2 side that take the lead.
Wow, do you know, I'll take that back about the amount of fans that Wimbledon have brought. The whole of that side there jumping up and down, and why not? What a wonderful start. They've held off Chelsea so far, gone down the other end. The first real attack, they've been able to win a penalty. Pell punched in the head, and in the end it was Tilley who stepped up. As I say, he's missed a couple this season, so fair play to him for doing that, but he's cracked it straight down the middle. What a start for Wimbledon.
Right, well, it was Pell actually, was it, who was on the floor up and get treatment, but It's a huge story if it stays like this.
Massive.
Wimbledon leading by a goal. The very fact they've scored against Chelsea actually is a big enough story. Chelsea have now got to come back. This young team have got to come back from a goal down to avoid embarrassment in the Carabao Cup. Remember, Chelsea haven't got Europe this season. There's only 2 real chances for them to win silverware, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, and they're 1-0 down after 20 minutes to a League 2 side.
Yeah, sorry Sam, but I'm just sort of saying this is a great challenge now for the youngsters of Chelsea. They've been playing nice, pretty football without creating many chances. Now they have to make sure they come back from 1-0 down at home.
Madueke over on the far side from Bashir Humphries. He plays it inside, so looking for Ugochukwu, who then sends the ball through the 6-yard box, and there's no one there to finish it for Chelsea. It goes through the other side, and there's a bit of frustration. Diego Moreira trying to turn, takes the ball out of play. It's away for a goal kick away to our left. And this is where you do get a bit of a test, isn't it? Because a lot of the time people say, yeah, well, the problem with youth football is there's no prize for winning, there's no pressure to get on the scoreboard and actually put points on the board. All of a sudden, this is a pressurised scenario now that the young players have got to step up to.
Absolutely, and it's a great challenge for them. They're 1-0 down against a side at home that plays in League 2 right now. So as well as Wimbledon are playing, and as well organised as they are, you have to say now the fans are just going to start to turn. There'll be a few little groans if there's any misplaced passes. Diego Moreira didn't come in the back post there when that ball came in, and he should have done. They've got to get used to what it's like now playing in front of the Stamford Bridge faithful when things aren't going well. How's your character?
Well, Pell was felled by that haymaker from Robert Sanchez, and the referee pointed to the spot. Maurizio Pochettino, I don't think, was too happy about it and had a word with Pell as he came off to receive treatment. Maatsen is chasing down the left corridor. It's too heavy for him to get hold of. It's caught by the goalkeeper and it's cleared away. What Chelsea mustn't do is freeze, feel the fear of going out for the first time at this round of the Carabao Cup for the first time since 1995 and freeze in this situation. We've got to be able to somehow conjure up some chances, but let's be completely clear, Alex Bass has had nothing to do in the opening 21 minutes.
Absolutely, it's been almost academy football, isn't it, in terms of pass, and not really creating too many chances. Now it's a question of your men's football. You're up against a side that will absolutely run until the very last second. They'll be fit, Johnny Jackson's side here. They'll be well organised as well. They'll be lacking in quality man for man, but now it's about just the mental side of things.
Sam Gallagher scores a second goal for Blackburn Rovers away at Harrogate. They lead by 2 goals to 0 in the Carabao Cup. But a big shock of the night is coming at Stamford Bridge, where it's 1-0 to AFC Wimbledon against Chelsea. Chelsea, who have got the likes of Robert Sanchez, who go away with the penalty, Axel Disasi in the heart of their team, Levi Colwell, Mark Cucurella. There's a lot of youngsters in that team, including teenagers Humphries, Moreira, Ugochukwu, Maatsen and Bairstow, Gallagher and Madueke in their early 20s. It is a youthful Chelsea team, but it's not the most inexperienced side. Certainly there's a bit more experience than some of the games that we saw in the summer series.
Absolutely, and Mauricio Pochettino will learn a lot about these players now, because if they're not able to come back from 1-0 down against the, again, with the greatest respect, I keep saying it, but 1-0 down against the League 2 side at home, and what chance have you got when you're playing Premier League football against world-class players?
Well, Chelsea haven't lost the Carabao Cup tie at Stamford Bridge since the pre-Covid days, October 2019. The last time they lost a Carabao Cup tie here was in the 4th round of beating at the hands of Manchester United, but they're losing to Wimbledon. And this is Maatsen getting it back to Colwell on the halfway line. Chelsea have had a lot of this possession but haven't really gone anywhere with it so far. Humphries to Madueke. Madueke moving down the right side. He slows up and goes to halfway. Wimbledon getting a lot of men behind the ball. It goes back wide into the feet of Conor Gallagher, who stabs it forward from the right channel, turns it back outside to Humphries, who comes forward from right back. Here is Gallagher into centre circle. Colwell immediately releases Cucurella into the left wing position, across low to the edge of the penalty area. It's picked up by Maatsen, who turns and shoots, takes a deflection, hits the side netting. And boy oh boy was Joe Lewis lucky there. He stuck out his right foot, deflected the ball goalwards. Everybody, I thought, inside the stadium could see that going beyond Alex Bass. It did, but it went the wrong side of the post from a Chelsea perspective as a corner.
Yeah, he's earned his luck really, because he has tried to defend the situation, but it's better from Chelsea than trying to be more penetrative rather than just pass.
Here's the corner into the near post, a free header from Madueke. Not the best of contacts, and it's cleared away by the Wimbledon defence. Comes back out towards this near side and then goes infield to Maatsen once again. He travels forward. He's got Pell in front of him and Tilly the goal scorer. Wimbledon leading by a penalty scored by James Tilley after 19 minutes here. Here is Ugachukwu. Back infield to Matson. Matson wide towards the left. Everybody inside the Wimbledon half of the field. Chelsea have it. Really not gone anywhere with it just yet. Cucurella down the left side. Poor control by him. Runs off his boot. Goes out. It's a goal kick.
Unlucky. You know, it was a good run. He's trying it again, trying to get in behind the Wimbledon defence, and that's what we want to see him do. He is one of the experienced players. Whether he'll be here by the end of this week, I don't quite know, but while he's in a Chelsea shirt, he needs to try and prove to the fans that he is a very, very good player. It's not happened for him in a Chelsea shirt, but tonight he's one of the senior pros. He needs to show a little bit of leadership.
Why hasn't it happened for him tonight? At Chelsea, sorry.
I don't know is the honest answer. You know, he's a player that Pep Guardiola apparently was after, and Chelsea just gazumped Manchester City, so clearly he was very good for Brighton, wasn't he? And he could play a number of positions down that left-hand side. I think sometimes when a move doesn't start too well, I think it's difficult to try and turn it around. Fans on a first impression can make up their minds, but he hasn't played well enough for me in a Chelsea shirt, so it wouldn't be a bad thing for both of them, both him and the club.
Gallagher picking the ball up, running with it, getting past two players. The right footed shot takes a deflection and goes behind and away for a corner kick. It was a good purposeful run by Gallagher. The ball was played infield to him midway inside the Wimbledon half. He slalomed forward to the edge of the box. His right footed shot took a deflection, spiralled into the air and went out for a corner over on the far side. Good chance.
Yeah, it was, and he did really well, and he's the one. If you have to say the one person to try and be the leader, he is the captain tonight. And I think he's tried to do that. He's tried to be getting on the ball as much as possible. I wouldn't be surprised if the stats show he has the most passes, but he needs the people around him to do a little bit more.
It's Cucurella who's going to take it over on the far side. He's waiting for some movement inside the penalty area. It's actually Moreira who delivers the ball eventually into the box. It's steered away by Davison out towards the far side. Then Cucurella throws himself to the floor under a small amount of pressure from Tilley, and it goes out on the far side. The free kick quickly taken. Chelsea get it moving again. 27 minutes gone. It's been a rather flat Chelsea performance up until this point. Lots of pretty possession, but no real penetration in the game. And Wimbledon took the lead after Robert Sanchez failed Pell inside the box. A free kick which was launched towards the back edge of the penalty area, and he came out with a haymaker, took out a Wimbledon player, and a penalty was given. Ugachukwu moving forward, lays it off to the right side, on to Madueke. Ugachukwu gets it back again for Chelsea, moves inside to Matson, who is on the right edge of the penalty area here. It's very congested on the edge of the box, and Chelsea trying to pick their way through. When you're in a situation like this, when you've got a low block, lots of players, two light banks of four, difficult to try and manipulate the ball through that. What's the best way of breaking it down? We always say move the ball at a faster tempo, get wide. Is that always possible?
Well, that's what you've got to try and do, Sam. That's exactly what you try and do. 1-2 touch football, no more than that. Move them around. Yes, you've got to be patient to a point. It might take the second half to try and get back into it, but you need to make sure that when you get the ball, your touch is good. Cucurella has just given the ball away, but fortunately won it back. You know, everyone needs to be spot on now, and minds need to be sharpened. They need to move it. Madueke for me is the danger man out wide. I don't think Cucurella or Moreira are those type of players in terms of taking players on, and Conor Gallagher needs to see more of the ball.
Ben Chilwell warming up down in front of us, which might tell you what Maurizio Pochettino has thought about the opening 28 minutes of Marc Cucurella's performance, and Diego Moreira on this left-hand side. Ball is with Madueke though on the right, trying to jink his way into the penalty area. He does that successfully. Good skill by him. Sets the ball back to Matson, edge of the penalty area. It's closed down by Pell. The ball's repelled to the middle of the Wimbledon half. It goes wide to the left, and Cucurella once again, who gives it to Moreira, who twists one way, then the other, then turns the ball back towards Cucurella, and it goes straight out of play on this near side. It's a rather frustrating moment for the Chelsea supporters once again, as another loose ball just trickles out of play.
Yeah, it's a couple of times down the left, isn't it? They've kind of given the ball away. First a bad touch from Cucurella, then a bad pass from Moreira. But what you have to do is forget about it. You cannot suddenly think, oh my goodness, this isn't happening. What's going to happen to us? Are we going to lose tonight against the League 2 side? Need to be positive. Pochettino will learn a lot out of his players tonight.
Yeah, but he wants to stay in the Carabao Cup as well.
No, he will, but, you know, if they don't come back into it and look dangerous at all, then he will learn perhaps we can't quite rely on these players.
Well, we've played just over 29 minutes, and Chelsea are yet to have a shot on target against the League 2 side. They trail by a goal to nil. And Pell's got it back after Gallagher has given it away, and he's released Davison in behind the defence, and Ugachukwu has to come back and tidy up for the Chelsea defence after they looked as if they were going to be breached in transition. And now it's their chance to look to try and counter. Madueke inside his own half, swivels away from the challenge of Johnson, moves the ball into Colwell's path, who strides over halfway, plays it left. Diego Moreira towards the edge of the area, a left-footed cross towards the far side. It's far too high, goes past the far post and beyond, and out over on the far side and away for a throw-in. Mason Burstow was chasing it, but he was never going to reach it, and it goes out for a throw-in to Wimbledon.
Now, it's a lack of confidence there from Moreira. You could see, first of all, really what he should be doing is running in behind. But when you're not doing that, when you're not feeling confident, you almost just sort of stay there. Then the ball came to him, and instead of trying to play quick, incisive passing, he's knocked a long cross, which Mason Burstow was never going to win, and it needed to be inch perfect.
And just teach me how to say that Chelsea number 43 again, because I know your Portuguese is flawless.
No, you put me under pressure.
Come on.
Diego Moreira.
I'll just say Moreira.
It's probably easy for me too.
Yeah. Here's...
You don't need to come out of any more Portuguese.
No, you're all right. 1-0 to Wimbledon, and Chelsea coming forward. Madueke looking for Moreira down the left-hand side. Again, his touch isn't perfect, but he's found Cucurella. Cucurella keeps hold of the ball and plays it back infield to Colwell. Colwell now on to Leslie Ugachukwu.
You know what, Sam, we're criticising Chelsea, and rightly so, but let's give a lot of credit to Wimbledon for how organised they are. We talked about no shot on target from Chelsea, and they've gone down the other end and scored a goal. This has been absolutely perfect, and we're only 30 minutes in, but 30 minutes so far. I think Johnny Jackson wouldn't have believed this.
Well, so disciplined, so well organised, well drilled, and keep it Chelsea at arm's length at this moment in time. And they've had a couple of shots that have been off target, but nothing that's really had them sweating. Here's Cucurella down the left side looking for Maatsen. Again, across comes the defender. This time Williams helping out from midfield into a right full-back position and clearing. Cucurella tries to keep it alive, manages to do so. I think one of Cucurella's biggest problems is he might have all the talent in the world, but he tries to do things a little bit too quickly sometimes and rushes things, and which is where I think he makes his mistakes.
I think he's just lacked confidence. Where things come naturally, you don't think, you just kind of aware of everything before the ball even comes to you. And when you're lacking in confidence, you're trying to do things, you're trying to show that you're actually getting into the game or wanting to do well, but when it comes to actually making that pass, you're not in the right position to do it.
Here is Moreira out to Cucurella, who's crossed into the box. He's headed towards goal by Bairstow. He's stopped from getting a clean header on it by the intervention of Joe Lewis, and he diverts it behind, and it's away for a corner kick away to our left-hand side. Another one for Chelsea.
Yeah, better from Cucurella, playing that 1-2, but even the cross itself was a little bit tentative. It didn't even go past the near post. So, good play there, but really just go for it when you put the cross in.
Moreira with the cross left-footed into the penalty area, and again it goes over everyone, although there were a couple of flicks through there. Disasi wanted a penalty in the box away to our left. The referee is not having that. Robert Sanchez comes up to the halfway line to get hold of it and keep them in possession, and then the ball's clipped forward, and that was not great from Maatsen. Straight through the middle of the pitch into the arms of Alex Bass and over everybody in a blue shirt, and it's a bit wasteful from Chelsea. And once again Wimbledon survive yet another bout of Chelsea possession without any real effect, and they'll be pretty happy with their performance so far. And it's just 12 and a half minutes to go before half-time. You're listening to TalkSport 2. Remember, Friday night we've got Luton against West Ham in the Premier League live on TalkSport. At that time on TalkSport 2, Adrian Durham will be doing a transfer roundup, a deadline day special, and then Alex Crook and Jim White will take you through the deadline 10 till midnight on Friday night live on TalkSport. All the deals as they are done.
You might be doing it if Jim's voice still isn't good.
I'm sure he's going to be okay tomorrow. I'm sure he is. Aren't you? Yeah. Only goals in the Carabao Cup so far are here, where it's 1-0 to Wimbledon away at Chelsea, and Blackburn 3-0 up away at Harrogate Town. John Buckley with the latest of their goals. They lead by 3 goals to 0. PSV 0, Rangers 0 is the latest scoreline. Remember, it's 2-2 on aggregate for a place in the Champions League next season. This season. Cucurella into Maatsen, switches the play from the left side out to the right, collected by Madueke. Madueke who cuts infield, gets it onto his left foot, waits to see Bashir Humphries come over on the right, and then on to Conor Gallagher, back into Bashir Humphries, Matson, into the edge of the penalty area, Madueke with a left-footed shot, drills it against Lewis, it bounces out towards the left side, and Wimbledon defend well once again, and get it away. Again, they've protected Bass really well in the fact that when Chelsea do look like they're going to have a shot on target, it's usually repelled by the defence.
Yeah, that was a really good play actually from Chelsea on the right-hand side. Madueke, I think, has been the best player so far offensively for them. But Joe Lewis got himself in the perfect position defensively.
Here is Colwell on to Disasi, charges forward, the Frenchman, towards the right edge of the penalty area, plays it wide towards the right. Chelsea again trying to look away through this stubborn Wimbledon defence. There's a trip on Madueke there that's going to lead to a free kick. Ryan Johnson with the challenge about 6 yards outside the box, and the referee was waiting to see whether or not Chelsea could play the advantage, but Madueke had lost his feet. It's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, I talked about Madueke looking the most dangerous, whether he stays out wide or comes inside, and it's not a tackle that Ryan Johnson needed to do, just hold him up. He was back to goal in the same sense that Conor Gallagher did it, that resulted in the penalty for Wimbledon, and this actually is a great position now for whoever decides to take it to have an absolute direct shot at Bass.
Well, Conor Gallagher is standing over it. We have seen Madueke score before, haven't we? He scored in the game at Arsenal, didn't he, away from home in that dreadful performance that Chelsea put in at the end of last season. He steps up left-footed, chips the ball towards the near post. It's miles over the top of the crossbar. Never troubling Alex Bass. 10 minutes to go before half-time. Wimbledon lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, that was really poor for Madueke. I'm just saying about how he looks the most dangerous player for Chelsea going forward at the moment, and again, just a free kick that just looked as if he was lacking in confidence. I don't think he's playing as if he's lacking in confidence, but that sort of set-piece strike, just go through it. Not going to get it up and over the wall and beat the keeper with pace like that.
Well, Chelsea do have replacements on the bench that do score goals. Nicholas Jackson is on the bench tonight. Ben Chilwell's on the bench tonight, and he has been one of the best attacking outlets for Chelsea so far this season, although he has got into a situation recently where he was one-on-one with a goalkeeper inside the penalty area, dead centre of the goal, and decided to try and pass it, which I don't think he'll ever do again.
No, and he actually scored a goal which was offside. He rounded Alisson, didn't he, against Liverpool at Stamford Bridge a couple of weeks ago, so surprised he laid that off. But look, you know, there's Enzo Fernandez, there's Nicholas Jackson, and we're talking about Ben Chilwell being one of the most attacking players. I don't think there's loads of goals on the bench for Chelsea.
Well, there's not loads of goals at the moment on the pitch either. 37 minutes gone. You're listening to TalkSport. There's only one player on the pitch who's scored a goal this season for Chelsea, and that's Axel Disasi, the centre-half. Here's Gallagher right side, trying to reverse the ball into the box. It was a bit casual, well dealt with over on the left-hand side by Nerfel. It's come back to Madueke, who's going to try and test Bass from range, but again off target as he swings his left boot at it and sends it wide of the goal, and it's out for a goal kick away to our left hand side. Chelsea 0, AFC Wimbledon of League 2 1. They're 5th in League 2. Chelsea hoping to reach the upper echelons of the Premier League this season, and they're trailing to a team that they haven't played since their reincarnation. At the moment it's a little bit concerning for Maurizio Pochettino. The ball drops on halfway. Chelsea have possession, lose it to Pell, who finds Nerfbill. He nudges it up over the halfway line to the goal scorer Tilly. Across comes Cucurella. Cucurella just about keeps it in, gives it to Levi Colwell, and Colwell will turn left-footed and play it back out towards this near side, and Cucurella plays backwards instead of forward, and Ugachukwu then has pressure from Pell, finds Colwell, and then Chelsea look to break out the other side with Bashir Humphries up over the halfway line to Madueke, who turns and runs at the midfield, plays it back to him, does Mason Burstow, and can't quite get hold of it and has to turn and run to the halfway line before coming forward and finding Matson up to Colwell, to Cucurella. Cucurella chests it down. I think he may have used his hand in that exchange, and it's just not going his way.
No, it's not. Again, good movement. It was the right place, but the touch wasn't quite there, the first touch. Ogundiya, fair play to him. He tucked round really well in that full-back position and made sure that he was able to pass it back to Bassett when it's a handball anyway. But I just think Wimbledon are defending really well. Now, okay, let's give them lots of credit for that, but again, I go back to the fact that Pochettino will be picking a side that's saying, look, this is a fourth-tier team, you need to go out and win. What's going to be really interesting to see how ruthless he is at half-time, whether he makes changes straight away, puts the big boys on, or does he say, look, we'll give you another 10-15 minutes.
It's probably best to be ruthless, I would have thought, because at the moment this is not working. Here's Burstow into Gallagher, who tries to turn away and run down the left-hand side. He ticks his way past one challenge and then a second, then moves infield from the left touchline. He looks up, he's trying to find someone with a little bit of movement. Matson then plays the ball behind Burstow, and it's cleared away from the edge of the penalty area by the right back, Ogundia. This is going to be a big upset if it stays like this. Chelsea need a reaction from somewhere. They're 5 minutes away from going in at half-time and losing to a League Two side. Here is Madueke, far side the Chelsea right, into Matson, who was so productive at Burnley last season, 6 championships assists in the second tier for Burnley last campaign. Moreira, who I don't think is up to the speed of top-flight football at this moment in time. It might have been a bit of a gamble, including him trying to square the ball from inside the left channel and hitting the first man. It was cleared away. Now it comes back again through Leslie Ugochukwu, and then Disasi to the left and Colwell, and Chelsea probing, but again being kept very much at arm's length. It's almost as if there's like a protector shield in front of Alex Bassey's goal. Ball is on the right hand side. Chelsea chasing it with Bashir Humphries. It's good defending by Nerfield, coming back from the left wing position. It's out of play and away for a throw down by the corner flag. 1-0 to Wimbledon. Yeah, great defending from Nerfield. He knows he's going to have to do that. The wide players will have to help out their full-backs. He certainly did it there, and what they need to do is make sure they keep a clean sheet until half-time, and then the crowd will start to murmur when they walk into the dressing rooms. Matson with a good tackle over on the far side to win the ball, despite the fact that Davison was threatening to break. He chopped it back, and Chelsea are now on the front foot, but they don't move the ball at speed. And Kukurea, who takes it from the left side into the centre, releases Ugochukwu. Matson then shrugs off the challenge of Williams and then dives into a challenge with Davison. It's Wimbledon who emerge with the ball. Nerfield tries to play it around the back of the defence, and Davison might be escaping here, and then Colwell has to come across to rescue Disasi, and it goes behind it away for a corner to Wimbledon. Yeah, it's a great ball in behind, and Colwell did really well to try and track back and just cover there. And now they've got another great opportunity. Set piece, 3.5 minutes before half-time. If they're able to get something here, then wow, would that be a massive surprise. That would be absolutely huge, wouldn't it, for AFC Wimbledon, who took the lead after 19 minutes, thanks to a penalty given away by Rob Sanchez, slamming into the face of Pell when he came out to punch from a free kick. The penalty converted by James Tilley, his 5th goal of the season. They've had a bit of a problem with penalties. Al Mohammadi has missed a couple as well over the course of the early part of this campaign. Ali Al-Hamadi, who's on the bench tonight, ready to come on, and an extra threat in the second half of the game maybe. The corner comes in, delivered to the far post. Pell with a header down towards the near post, and across comes Sanchez and will collect this time. He wants it delivered quickly up over the halfway line, because that's where Madueke is running, and Madueke has run right towards the far corner on the right, chasing after the ball. Hasn't been able to keep it in. It goes out for a throw in the left full-back position to the away team, and they all leave it, walk away from the ball, and make sure that Ryan Johnson can come over from where he was stationed inside his own penalty area, just to delay the final few seconds of the first half. Yeah, just don't get booked, Ryan Johnson. But again, great tracking back from Nerfield. He's a left winger, he wants to get forward, but he knows he's got to put a shift in for the team, and he's done it again there. Chelsea 0, AFC Wimbledon 1. What a story this would be. Johnny Jackson in charge of this Wimbledon team, the 4th tier, a team that really go beyond the first round of the competition, let alone the second, trying desperately to hold on to their advantage against Premier League Chelsea. Chelsea, who have only spent £343 million this transfer window. Is that all? That's all. And they're going to spend another 45 in the next 24 hours buying Cole Palmer from Manchester City. They could have done with him tonight so far. He has got a finish on him, that's for sure. 44 on the clock. TalkSport 2. On TalkSport, they're going round the grounds. We've been giving you the goals as they go in. And there hasn't been too many. Madueke's trying to change that, going down the right-hand side. He's brought down right on the byline. It's a clumsy challenge. It's a penalty to Chelsea. And Chelsea are gifted a chance to get back into the game. Well, Madueke has been incredibly dangerous, running down that right-hand side and skating into the penalty area. He's drawn the foul as he's chopped to the byline. He's gone beyond the defender, and there was just a dangling leg that he went over. And I think it was Alex Pearce who left his foot in, and as a result of that, Tony Harrington pointed to the spot, and Chelsea have the chance to level things up just seconds before half-time.
Yeah, I talked about how Madueke was the most dangerous player for Chelsea going forward, and again he picked up the ball, just turned Johnson, got into the box, and just brought the foul. Brilliant play from him. Johnny Jackson will not believe what's happened so close to half-time.
2 goals for PSV last season, Noni Madueke, 1 for Chelsea only in that Arsenal defeat last season. He steps up for his first goal at Stamford Bridge from the penalty spot, left-footed and sends it into the corner, and Chelsea are level at Stamford Bridge on the stroke of half-time. Noni Madueke with his first home goal in blue, stroking the ball home from the penalty spot, a penalty he earned with an aggressive run down the right-hand side. And Chelsea, who haven't shown much penetration in this first half, have saved themselves from going in behind to a League Two team at half-time with a penalty on the stroke of the break. Scott Minto.
Well, they've got away with that one. Haven't been good enough in the first half, and I think still Mauricio Pochettino can say, I'm going to be ruthless and bring on the big boys here. It might buy a little bit of time, another 15 or so minutes. I think from Wimbledon's point of view, they will be devastated they've conceded right on half-time, because to be fair, Sam, they've looked comfortable, haven't they?
Well, they've defended really well. Chukwu, though, trying to speed over halfway, plays the ball to Matson, who got in the way. It was going through to Moreira, and he stopped the ball from reaching him, and it's cleared away by Ogundia. Cucurella gets it back, moves to the edge of the penalty area. There's 2 balls on the pitch now, and Moreira kicks one off. And we continue over the far side. It's 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first 45 minutes. Wimbledon taking the lead, and Chelsea getting a goal just before the break in order to spare their blushes. Here is Diego Moreira on this near side. He's had a tough introduction to first-team football with Chelsea against League Two Wimbledon. Gallagher tries to play the ball out towards the right-hand side. You're not singing anymore is the chant to the Wimbledon fans behind the goal, and Madueke did cock his ear over to those Wimbledon fans away to our left when he converted that penalty after scoring from the spot. I think they've been giving him a little bit of the bird from behind the goal away to our left-hand side as he prepared to take his penalty, but he was rather cool in the way that he did it, I thought.
Amazing penalty. Again, one of those just takes his time, going up there, watches the keeper dive, he puts it the other way, and let me tell you, you need ultimate confidence and composure to take a penalty like that.
Second minute of added time at the end of the first half in the Carabao Cup second round, and it's TalkSport 2 bringing you Chelsea 1, Wimbledon 1. Sheffield United 0, Lincoln City 0 is the latest score at half-time in the Carabao Cup. It's whistle blown at half-time in Bramall Lane, where we'll be on Saturday for the visit of Everton. Here is Matson turning, spiralling forward, looking up. Bairstow tries to hold on to it. He feels he was fouled. Referee says play on because Gallagher's got it. It's worked wide to the right. Madueke is there again. Tries to chop in on his left foot. He plays the ball centrally. Gallagher holds it on, plays it into Madueke. Matson tries to thrust it through towards Bairstow on the edge of the penalty area, but it's cleared away by Tilly and out on this near side. There might have been a foul deep inside Wimbledon territory. Well, it's certainly a different team talk now because Chelsea are level, but Mauricio Pochettino shouldn't hold back with the riot act, I don't think.
No, he shouldn't, and again, you know, this is about winning the game. You cannot afford for it to go to penalties, Sam, because then it pretty much is 50-50. This is a side, as in the words of Pochettino, wants to win the Premier League, wants to win the Carabao Cup, wants to win the FA Cup against a team, well, just about survived staying in the EFL last season. So need to win this game, need to have a much better second half, and he needs to be ruthless with his substitutions.
And there are big name players on the bench tonight. Nicholas Jackson, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo. Between them, those 3 players alone cost over £250 million. Not bad. Here's Diego Moreira. He gets lucky and the ball comes out to Maatsen. He sends it wide. Cucurella, first time ball into the box. It's cleared away. Comes back to the rear edge of the penalty area. He sends it to the far side. Bashir Humphries from deep will deliver across from right to left and out on the penalty spot. Bass comes out, flames with a big bellow of goalkeepers and drags it into his chest and pulls it up towards the edge of the box and will clear. We played our 4 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, and Johnny Jackson's side, who may have felt aggrieved to have lost their slender advantage late on against Forest Green at the weekend in League 2, I think will feel a little bit hard done by, but they're not taking a lead into the break here at Stamford Bridge. A penalty from Noni Madueke on the stroke of half-time means that it's level going into the break. Ball out of play over on the far side. There's nearly 5 minutes of added time that Tony Harrington has played now. Williams has the ball in central midfield for the visitors. The left back into centre half, and then it's upfield by Alex Pearce, who gave away the penalty on the stroke of half-time. Let's get underway at the start of the second half. Luton against West Ham is live on TalkSport 2 on TalkSport on Friday night. TalkSport 2 will be the place to be for Adrian Durham and Carlton Cole, hosting a special deadline day edition of the Transfer Insiders from 7 o'clock. And then Jim White and Alex Crook are on live 10 o'clock till midnight on TalkSport as they take you through the deadline. 1-1 at half-time in the Carabao Cup second round. Our producer Sal Ahmed has just located the Merlin Premier League sticker from 1995, and Scott, that is what can only be described as a very greasy curly haircut.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it curtains, but yeah, there's a bit of bra cream in there, isn't there?
A bit? There's about 3 tubs. I'm surprised you ever got it out.
Still trying.
Well worth a Google. 1995
No, it's
Scott
not.
Minto Merlin sticker. We're underway in the second half. Chelsea shooting from left to right towards the Matthew Harding end. They're one change. Nicholas Jackson coming into the lineup at the expense of Diego Moreira. There's a foul on Conor Gallagher as he goes down the right side right at the start of the second 45, and the challenge from Alex Pearce, who gave away the penalty, is going to earn him a yellow card.
Well, again, we've only been going seconds into the second half, but, you know, this is what you want to do. I'm sure Poch would have been saying at half-time, look, I'm going to make this one change. I think Jackson will make a massive difference, but I want more intensity from everybody. In the way that Madueke played in the first half, I thought he was superb and definitely absolving any criticism, whatever he did with the goal and making it himself as well. I thought he was the best player on the pitch. The rest of the Chelsea players need to catch up.
Thank you for lending your ears to us tonight. If you're a Chelsea fan, you may well know that it's the first time that a Chelsea match has not been filmed live for television since about 2016 when they played in this competition against Bristol Rovers. It's only on TalkSport 2 as Gallagher swings the ball in towards the near post, looking for Jackson. It's headed away by Pearce out towards the far side, and it's collected over on that far touchline by Bashir Humphries, who gives it to Jackson. Jackson tries to turn and run at the Wimbledon defence. He then stops the ball and then plays it infield. It's a nice little touch back to Jackson, who's in the area, right-footed shot, parried away by Alex Bass and turned away from the edge of the 6-yard box. Well, they didn't have a shot on target from open play in the opening 45 minutes. It's taken Nicholas Jackson 1 minute and 50 seconds to get one.
Much better, isn't it? Much better. And he looks an absolute player, what I've seen of him so far. Pace, power. It was a simple save in the end from Bass, but again, just a complete different intensity at the start of the second half.
A bit of pushing and shoving inside the penalty area, which is stopping the set piece from being taken. Chelsea have got Sanchez in goal, Humphries at right back, Disasi, Colwell and Cucurella, and then it's Gallagher, Ugochukwu and Maatsen at the number 10 position in midfield. Madueke and Burstow flanking Jackson in attack. The ball in from the left-hand side, aimed towards the penalty spot. Colwell tries to hook it towards goal, comes back to Ugochukwu, who shoots. It's blocked. It's eventually cleared away by Johnson, and then one back on the far side by Maatsen and given to Ugochukwu once again. Out to the left it goes, and Humphries finds Ugochukwu into Nicholas Jackson, who drops deep 10 yards outside the penalty area. Gallagher takes it on with his back to goal, fires it back to Cucurella, who's in the left full-back position just over the halfway line, and gives it to Madueke on the other side. Disasi coming up from the right side, trying to attack the penalty area, and while they're misshapen, the ball is floated out to Cucurella, who didn't have the greatest of first halves, but Maatsen will try and volley a loose ball goalwards. It isn't the best of volleys, and eventually it's helped behind and out for a goal kick. Cucurella is going mad about that because he believes he didn't touch it.
He didn't. It's either a foul, which it wasn't given, or Oh, it's a corner because it came off Ogundia. So I don't know what the referee was doing there, but just much better from Chelsea in the second half. And again, Wimbledon just need to see that. I thought they were superb in the first half, really well organised. They don't have the ability man on man to outpass or maybe run with the ball in the way that you expect Chelsea players to do that. But as a team, they were superb. They just need to hold on here, try and quieten the crowd and get back into it, create some chances.
Yeah, the Wimbledon team is Bass in goal, Ugandir, Lewis, Pearce, Johnson, and that's the back four. Tilly at right side of midfield with Ball, Williams and Nerfield making up that quartet through the middle. Pell and Davis in attack, and they played with two banks of four for much of that first half and did it well. Here's Nerfield, the other side of the ball, attacking the Chelsea penalty area, charging down the left. Can't produce the cross that was required after a decent run down that left-hand side. His attempt at a centre was stopped by Axel Disasi. It's out for the first corner of the game for Wimbledon.
Yeah, Disasi was just in the right place there. It was really good reading of the game after Humphreys gave the ball away and couldn't catch Nerville, so you can tell that Nerville has the pace. They're able to get him down one side and Tilly down the other, who will come in on his left foot. Then they can be dangerous.
Here is the corner taken by Williams into the centre, and Jackson has to get it clear, and it just goes over the head of Pearce. Back into the box it goes, away by Ugo Chukwu. It's volleyed goalwards by Pell. Did it take a deflection? The referee says no, goal kick, and the Wimbledon players go mad about the fact that they thought that took an obvious nick of a Chelsea player.
It did, and you know what? They just created a couple of half chances there. Chelsea need to watch out for that.
Well, Chelsea went to take their goal kick quickly, but the referee has stopped it in order to give a booking. I think he gave that booking to Pell. Well, it wasn't particularly clear. He wasn't very demonstrative. I think that might be a booking for the big, tall number 10. And Harry Pell, the ex-Accrington Stanley attacker, is the latest to go in the referee's notebook. 1-1 the score, 5 minutes played in the second half, and it's been a rather disappointing night for Chelsea up until this point. They'll be hoping to try and transform that in the second half and leave the fans that have attended Stamford Bridge tonight with a little bit more optimism than maybe they had at the break. Jackson certainly providing an injection of intensity in this second half after coming off the bench at the break. Plays it to Matson in the number 10 position. Chelsea on the attack inside Wimbledon territory. It's on to Madueke and then out to the right. Picked up by Gallagher. Gallagher now in the right wing position. Takes on two defenders. He plays it infield to Madueke, who tries to skip past one challenge. Plays it wide. It wasn't a great ball out towards this near side, and Nerfield, watching the run of Humphreys, who's come up from right back, pokes it out for a throw-in. Ball tossed into Gallagher, hair tied up in a bun behind his head as he charges towards the right angle of the penalty area, then turns as he runs into traffic back towards this right side and Humphreys, and then Gallagher drifts away from Pell beautifully into the box. Madueke tries to get it onto his left foot. Matson looks to keep it alive, plays it back out to the right and Humphreys. Chelsea again circulating the ball on the edge of the box but not really going anywhere with it. It breaks down, and now there's a chance to counter for Wimbledon, and Tilly picks it up, runs through the centre circle, goes over halfway. He's being chased by Ugo Chukwu, and that was a really, really good challenge by Ugo Chukwu, who got back and nabbed the ball and then got Chelsea back on the front foot and in possession once again. He's fitted in seamlessly, by the way, since coming in from French football.
Yeah, he has, and that was really good play and exactly what you want from your midfielder that's meant to be shielding your defence. It's going to be interesting, isn't it, when everyone's fit, who are they going to go for? He's come in, done well, but you would think that Caicedo and also Lavia would be in there, and Fernandez could push on further forwards. So many options.
Yeah. And that's sort of half the problem for Chelsea, isn't it? Is that you do end up collecting all these great young potential players. You can't play them all at the same time, as we've seen already in this game.
You can't, Sam, but I think last year's recruitment was absolute scattergun. I think they're paying the price by getting rid of academy players because of that. It's 100% profit. But I actually think this summer has been very good. And I think the likes of Caicedo and Lavia coming in. Okay, you've got Ugo Chukwu, but you've got to have a good bench as well as a really good 11. So they're not going to play all the time.
Ugo Chukwu, £21 million from Rennes, plays the ball down the left-hand side to Cucurella, whose cross was not the best. I think that goes out for a throw-in over on the far side after Joe Lewis went to attempt to clear the ball from the cross from the left-hand side. It is a throw-in, and Cucurella will take it into Matson, down in the left wing position. Steers it back into Colwell, and then across to Disasi. It's on a 7-year contract, Leslie, Ugo Chukwu. He's quite some length of contract. He's contract to 2030. Here is Madueke, who dives in down the right-hand side, chops one way, then the other, feeds Jackson, edge of the box. Jackson trying to squeeze between two white shirts, gets the return ball on the edge of the penalty area, plays it wide for Cucurella, forces him a little bit too far outside of the box, gets it back again. He's now on the angle of the penalty area, plays it into Gallagher, gets a 1-2, charges through, gives it back to Gallagher, edge of the box, right for the shot, safe down low by the goalkeeper Bass. Good move by Chelsea, patient, quick. Interchanges on the edge of the penalty area, which opened up and manipulated the Wimbledon back line. Jackson at the heart of it, so was Conor Gallagher, and it was his shot that was eventually saved.
Yeah, I remember Conor Gallagher scoring a goal, was it Crystal Palace last season, where he put it into the top corner, around the sort of far post. He tried to give the eyes there, and it was a simple save in the end for Bass. I just wondered if he, wanted to do something similar there, because he's already done it before. We know he can. He had an extra couple of yards to look up and try and place his shot. In the end, the execution wasn't good, but it is much better from Chelsea in the second half. But you have to say, Wimbledon will still be pretty happy.
And they're still keeping Chelsea, arguably, at arm's length. Chelsea having chances from the edge of the penalty area rather than from close range.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Jackson, had that chance, didn't he, where just inside the box. Conor Gallagher was on the edge of the box. There's no clear-cut chances, you're spot on there, but Chelsea are much better in the second half already than they were in the first.
Absolutely. 5-0 now to Blackburn Rovers, away from home at Harrogate Town, and Doncaster still lead Everton by 1-0. Here is Nerfbill moving towards the edge of the box for Wimbledon, trying to come up with a strike that will test Robert Sanchez, but nothing really in that, and it's just behind, and it's going to be a change here, and two changes for AFC Wimbledon, the first of which is Davison coming off to be replaced by Ali Al-Hamadi, who has an XG of 5.96 this season but hasn't scored a goal. The Iraqi, he has the highest XG in all four divisions and hasn't scored.
Do you know what, he's probably, and I say this with the greatest respect to League Two, he's probably too good for League Two, and I think Wimbledon fans should be reasonably happy that they've made a really good start to the season, but he's not got on the score sheet, because I can see him making a move, if not in this window, then maybe in the next one.
And Lee Brown has come on for Alex Pearce, and Brown, who will go to left back, and Johnson will move into the centre half position. The first two changes on the night for Johnny Jackson. 56 minutes gone, and it's Chelsea 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. Remember, there was a big shock here when Wimbledon took the lead after 19 minutes. Robert Sanchez punching Pell as he came out to grab a free kick. Missed the ball, got the man, gave away the penalty. It was converted by Tilly, 1-0 for a long time, right on the stroke of half-time. It was 25 minutes their lead, Wimbledon. Eventually, after Madueke earned the penalty, scored the penalty to make it 1-1. Chelsea have had a couple of chances in the second half, mainly coming from the fact that they brought on Nicholas Jackson, who has influenced proceedings and added a little bit of urgency into the game.
But I actually think they're really good substitutions from Johnny Jackson. We talked about Ali Al-Hamadi, looks like he's a proper player, and despite him not getting the score sheet yet, a really good centre forward. And also it means that Johnson and Lewis are playing together as a partnership, which they have been for the season so far. It's a really good defensive partnership there.
Lee Brown puts the captain's armband on, former Portsmouth defender, and Chelsea look to come through over the halfway line into the Wimbledon half. 0-0 the score. Chelsea shooting from left to right in their home kit tonight. Well, it have to be their home kit, wouldn't it? Because they haven't got any other kit at this moment in time. We're just about to go into September, and this is the only one that they've got up until this point. I was talking to the kit man earlier, and he said, well, the problem with the away kit is it's pretty much the same as the home kit.
We're not going to have to do what we did in 96-97 one time at Coventry away.
Oh, and we're their away kit.
And we're their away kit. and we played like Coventry reserves as well. We lost 3-1.
Madueke on the right side, trying to jink in towards the penalty area. Turns one way, then the other. Goes on the right side, plays the ball towards the near post, takes a deflection off Brown, goes out and away for a corner.
He is without a doubt the best player on the pitch. I mean, Nicholas Jackson, I think, could easily eclipse it with the bits of skill he can do in the second half, and if he scores a couple of goals. But from the start, Madueke, the most dangerous man for Chelsea.
Jackson lurking with intent now on the penalty spot. This corner's about to be delivered by Ian Matson. He plays it short instead to Gallagher. Gallagher on the right angle of the penalty area, plays it down the right side for Burstow. He tries to fire the ball through the 18-yard box, but it's caught by the goalkeeper.
I'd love to see Mason Burstow getting the score sheet, really would. He's come from Charlton, played men's football for the first season. He's a goal scorer, scored goals for the youth and the academy. I thought it was a big move for him, but clearly last year playing with Chelsea in pre-season, doing so well in the first team as well. Great to see him playing first team football for Chelsea. Love to see him get a goal and boost his confidence.
It was taken from Charlton in January 2022, Mason Burstow. He made his debut as a substitute against West Ham, his first senior appearance in, pretty much 18 months. Here is Gallagher out towards the right-hand side. It's collected by Noni Madueke. He plays it into Jackson. And then back to Bashir Humphries in the right full-back position. Maatsen tries to release the ball to Burstow, who runs between two defenders who block him off, and it's cut away towards the right-hand side. It's cleared by Pearce by Lewis into the stand on the opposite side of the pitch to us.
No, that's where he doesn't have the physical presence that Nicholas Jackson does.
Here is Jackson inside the penalty area as Burstow tries to release him over the top, doesn't quite work out, and it's into the arms of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, if that had been Nicholas Jackson who picked up the ball, he tried to go in between two defenders, and I think not just his pace, but his power would have got himself on the other side. Mason Burstow hasn't quite got that, but he's learning all the time.
Yeah, was top scorer in the development squad last year in Premier League 2 with 10 goals as they come forward with Al Hamadi inside the penalty area, getting the ball to his left foot, shoots, is blocked by Disasi, and Disasi celebrates like he saved a certain goal. Madueke collects it. Did he handball it in the right full-back position? Referee says play on. Johnson heads it clear on the halfway line. And that was a big chance for Ali Al Hamadi, who has another big opportunity go a begging. Jackson's peeled away to the left-hand side. Maatsen sped him. Goalkeeper's come out. He's done very well to time his advance into the penalty area there, Bass, and get there ahead of Jackson. I think it was just a little bit too heavy from Maatsen into the pass of Jackson, and Jackson couldn't reach it. Here come Wimbledon at the other end. Tilly getting towards the edge of the box. 1-1 the score with half an hour to go. It's a low ball into the near post. Kukurea blocks it. It goes behind the way for a Wimbledon corner, and the Wimbledon fans behind the goal. And there's about 3,500 of them tonight, making their feelings and their presence felt.
Yeah, they're loving this, and so they should do as well. Their team doing them really proud, and the game's just opened up a bit, which I'm not quite sure who it favours, to be honest with you. I think Wimbledon would prefer it to be more compact, but they had that chance with Al Hamadi, really good defender from Disasi, and just marks him down the other end. It really could burst the pace, but if he had played a better pace of pass, then Jackson would have been in one-on-one.
A little bit unfair to suggest that that is a big chance gone missing. I thought Disasi did very well to stop Al Hamadi as the cross comes in from the corner straight into the arms of Rob Sanchez, and he waited too long to release Jackson, who'd made a good dart down the right-hand side. Jackson, I think, was disappointed with that, and it's bowled out to Bashir Humphries on this near touchline. And Chelsea going to make another couple of substitutions, and Malagusto and Enzo Fernandez about to come on. That will change things, Scott.
Well, I'm not surprised. Again, it's something which Pochettino has to be on attack, despite them being the better side in the second half. You know, Wimbledon will be happy with the scoreline, so he has to try and be proactive.
TalkSport on a Wednesday evening in southwest London. I lost my faculties there for a second. I've done too many programmes in the last 48 hours. Don't know what day it is.
You know you're on 1 to 5 in the morning, don't you?
But we're live on TalkSport 2 with Chelsea against Wimbledon, and this is tighter than Chelsea were expecting. And remember, the bookmakers beforehand were predicting a massive Chelsea victory. Hasn't turned out like that, not by any stretch of the imagination. Bashir Humphries has it, right side, left by Madueke. Gallagher charges into the box, gets onto his right, then his left, and then he stops in his track by Williams, and it's cleared away. One again by Disasi, who keeps Chelsea on the front foot. They move down the right with Madueke. He's got support to his left from Humphries. Challenge comes in from Nerfville. Madueke's got it back again. Three waiting in the centre. Chelsea slow the attack. Ugochukwu moves towards the edge of the box, plays it into Gallagher. Gallagher spirals away from Williams, faces up towards the goal. He's now on the edge of the D, holding on to it, trying to pierce the defence. It's played round the corner by Burstow, but it was to no one in blue. And Al Hamadi now looks to try and outsprint Colwell, and he's got the ability to do that, you know, and he's really put pressure on Rob Sanchez, who's come out and flicked the ball to Colwell towards the far side, and Chelsea just about survived, but the Iraqi was really putting it up them.
Sam, that was a great race, and Al Hamadi actually had Colwell, because Colwell gave him a yard, and in the end it was level. So really good pace and power from the striker, and that's why I was talking about that. You know, I think it's a really positive substitution from Johnny Jackson. I really do. You know, Davison did well. expected a shift. But in terms of absolute quality, if there was to be a Carabao Cup final for Wimbledon, or a game to try and get automatic promotion, there's no doubt about it, Al Hamidi will be playing in this game. So, yeah, I think Chelsea defence realise they're in the game if he's going 1-on-1 against anyone.
Absolutely, the raw speed of Al Hamidi causing problems for Chelsea. Chelsea making changes, and that is the end of the night. Mason Burstow coming off, and Enzo Fernandez coming on, and the other substitution is Levi Colwell coming off, and on coming Malagusto. And I think that will mean a slight change. Chelsea will put Bashir Humphries into centre half, and Malagusto will go into the right full-back position, a natural position for him. I do hope that Colwell is nothing more than just a precautionary thing ahead of the weekend game against Nottingham Forest, Chelsea's next game on Saturday.
Well, if he has got something wrong with him, he didn't need that race with Al Hamidi, did he?
No, he certainly didn't. Back in by Brown, and at the collision between Conor Gallagher and Ball in the centre of the park. Ball's come off worse, and Chelsea have the ball on the edge of the penalty area. There's 25 minutes to go. Chelsea still have got work to do here, Scott, and quite some work to do. They've got to get a goal, otherwise it's going to be a penalty shootout.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're talking a lot about Chelsea and how they've not been good enough, but let's give massive credit to Wimbledon. I wouldn't say individually they've been superb, but as a team, they've made sure without the ball they're not giving any spaces at all to Chelsea.
Matson to Madueke on the edge of the penalty area, into Enzo Fernandez, back to Madueke, inside the box, tries to jink his way past the challenge. It's half cleared. He ran into traffic there. Gallagher, once again a tight knot of Wimbledon jerseys, making sure there was no clear path to goal there for Chelsea. Madueke was huffed out of it. Here is Gusto approaching the penalty area. His control wasn't great, and it bundles through towards the goalkeeper, bumbles up into the arms of Alex Bass. And there is a bit of an issue here for Ball in the middle of the park after that collision with Gallagher, and he's going to need some treatment, Scott.
Yeah, I don't think it's a question of time wasting. I think there was a tackle going in there. I don't think he's that type of player to go down and try and time waste already. And of course he'll have to come off with the physio coming on. But again, I just want to give credit to Wimbledon and Johnny Jackson as well. They look so well organised. It was a moment of brilliance to Madueke that's meant that Chelsea are able to score a goal. Nicholas Jackson has come on, and in the first sort of 5 minutes looked dangerous, but since then again he's been well shackled. So everyone's just working hard for them, each other. We talked about the wingers, especially Nerval on the left, really tracking back and working hard for his team. It's been a wonderful performance, and they're holding their own at the moment.
Well, the latest scores elsewhere as we get treatment for Jimmy Ball over on that far side. Harrogate 0, Blackburn 6, Nottingham Forest 0, Burnley 0, Sheffield United 0, Lincoln 0, Doncaster still 1-0 up against Everton. That one kicks off at 8 o'clock, so they're a little bit behind the ball. And it's still PSV 1, Rangers 0, 3-2 to PSV on aggregate. These two had some meetings back in the day, didn't they? Between sort of 86 and 2000 they met quite a bit. The one that stands out for me was the Gianfranco Zola performance, turn and finish at Highbury in the 1997 FA Cup semi-final. I remember celebrating the next day, trying to replicate it, breaking my ankle and missing the trip to Wembley as a result, because I was in plaster.
Did you really?
Story. Yeah. And then when Roberto Di Matteo scored after 43 seconds, all my friends that were around my house that day, because I couldn't go to the cup final, jumped on top of me and I broke it again. That's a true story. Here on the edge of the penalty area, Wimbledon charging through the centre, trying to get towards the edge of the box. The shot which is unleashed by Tilly is well wide of the goal, and it goes out for a goal kick away to our left.
How is that after all the time I've known you? That's the first time you've told me that story.
True story. Unbelievable. I went in 2000 though.
Doesn't count. Does. Well, of course it does, but 97 was better.
You just weren't there. You were there in 1997. I remember it very, very clearly. Here on the right-hand side is Malagusto, moving down the right wing, plays it back in field. It's collected by Madueke for Chelsea, who still have got work to do here. 1-1 the score on TalkSport 2. Ball played into Madueke once again, right edge of the area from Malagusto. He turns and fires it in towards Matson, picked up by Enzo Fernandez, who finds Cucurella, gets it back again. Enzo Fernandez shoots from distance and fires it towards the far corner from 30 yards. Alex Bass has to fling himself to the left and fingers the ball round the post.
Yeah, I mean, he's so technically brilliant, Enzo Fernandez, isn't he? you almost want him with two of him, one just sitting in front of the back four and one further forwards, and I think he's better further forwards. It's 30 yards out. That's going almost top corner. Bass, I think, perhaps could have done a little bit better, but in the end, it's all about keeping it out the back of the net.
And they have a corner as a result, and Enzo Fernandez is going to take it in towards Nicholas Jackson, who rises and collides inside the 18-yard box with Harry Pell, who's already had one head injury tonight, doesn't want another one, and there does look like there's a head injury to Nicholas Jackson as well, and those two will both now require treatment.
Yeah, well, that looks a painful one. That it's one of those balls that's come in, and Jackson's really, both of them just looking at the ball, and so brave in the end, clashing. Hopefully both are okay, but when it comes to head injuries, you really do have to be careful.
Well, what a terrific story this is going to be for AFC Wimbledon, unbeaten so far this season in League 2, fifth in that division, denied victory late on against Forest Green at the weekend, although they would have been even further up the table, and now holding Premier League big spending Chelsea, 1-1 on the night, having taken the lead, their fans having an absolute field day away to our left-hand side. And Chelsea hoping that they can find a way through to make sure they're in the third round of the competition. Only once since their rebirth have Wimbledon managed to progress further than the second round in the AFL Cup. And in that particular year, in the third round, they were seen off rather quickly by Arsenal. It'll be some achievement if they can knock out Chelsea tonight.
If they can, it'd be absolutely amazing. And, you know, whoever they get in the third round, they'd probably want one of the big boys just to try and get some money. And this would be an amazing story. And I think after 70 minutes, look, whatever happens here and in, I think Wimbledon, and especially Johnny Jackson, should be given a lot of credit for the way they've worked, for the way how organised they've been, the tactics. We talked about how really it's not about ball possession. We knew that whether there's a lot of changes or not, a lot of youngsters or not, Chelsea will have all the ball, but it's about can they create clear-cut chances, and they haven't done many tonight. I think Wimbledon, as a team, defensively without the ball, have been superb.
Harrogate Town 0, Blackburn Rovers 7. Thomas Bloxham with the latest goal for John Dahl Thomason's team. They won at the weekend away at Watford to go up into the upper echelons of the Championship, and they've had a good night tonight away at Harrogate. And here it's Chelsea 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. PSV have taken a 2-goal lead in their game against Rangers, 4-2 on aggregate. We're back underway here with Malagusto turning the ball back to his goalkeeper after a long ball forward by Alex Bass, and Chelsea looking to build through Cucurella down the left-hand side. His ball down the left is too heavy. He's had a tough night tonight. Oh, that's a tough clearance. It comes to Enzo Fernandez. The goalkeeper's out of his goal. Enzo Fernandez to finish it from the edge of the penalty area. A mistake by Bass. He left his goal vacant. The ball repelled out into midfield. Enzo Fernandez, quick thinking, ran onto the ball, and from 20 yards out, strokes it into the empty net, and Chelsea have come from behind to lead at Stamford Bridge in fortuitous circumstances by 2-1.
Oh dear, Alex Bass will be running over his mind for not just tonight but weeks to come if they end up getting knocked out by 2-1. It wasn't as if he tried to sort of play, it was just a simple strike, but he's stuck it straight at a Chelsea player, which has then come to Enzo Fernandez. And again, we talked about the quality, you know, in the first half. How do we need to change it? Well, Nicholas Jackson and Enzo Fernandez were the two that spring to mind straight away. He showed great composure. He could have tried and struck it first time with the keeper being out. He didn't. He realised he could put himself into a better position. He went round one defender and in the end just kind of curled it into the far post. Again, another defender chasing back but couldn't get anywhere near it. And you know what? I don't think Chelsea necessarily deserve this. I mean, they have been the better side in terms of ball possession. I think it's cruel for Wimbledon in the way that they've conceded one just before half-time, where they needed to be a little bit more disciplined with that tackle, and two with a mistake like that. I hope they don't go out on that mistake. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But now the game has completely changed. Wimbledon need to do something. They need to get on the front foot, and Chelsea can dictate the pace of the match now.
Well, that was a poor clearance by Alex Bass, which hit the back of Maatsen and rolled into a loose area of the midfield. Enzo Fernandez very quickly onto it and immediately took a touch to push it forward and then rammed it into the bottom corner of the net, and Chelsea lead by 2-1. Alex Bass just standing on the edge of the D away to our right hand side, hands on hips. He knows that was a mistake that's going to cost his team a place in this competition. And the Chelsea fans once again giving a little bit back to the Wimbledon fans who have been in fine voice. I think they'll still be very proud of what they've seen so far tonight. And the way they've played, the way they've operated, the way they've approached this game, the discipline they've shown, probably gives them great hope going forward this season in League Two. They've won a corner away to our left-hand side with 17 minutes to go, live on TalkSport 2, and Chelsea leading by 2-1. Enzo Fernandez with the goal. James Edmondson has scored for Blackburn Rovers to make it 8-0. Ball delivered into the far post. Again, Robert Sanchez comes out quickly, and Chelsea have got a 4-on-2 situation here, and they're speeding up the pitch. Nicholas Jackson's got it. Enzo Fernandez is steaming through the middle. He goes towards the right now. Malagusto is on the left-hand side, but Madueke is free. He shoots it safe down low to his right by Alex Bass. A lightning quick counter-attack from Chelsea. Chelsea with numbers going forward. Jackson, Madueke, Enzo Fernandez, Malagusto all in it. Chelsea giving the ball to Madueke on the edge of the penalty area after a good run from Jackson, and Madueke's finish is denied by Alex Bass.
Do you know what? Brilliant counterplay that really was. Robert Sanchez, fair play to him, made a mistake with the penalty but caught it, threw it out quickly. Nicholas Jackson did well because he used Enzo Fernandez by not using him, then passing the ball inside. And Madueke's inside the box. He's pretty much straight in front of goal. He's hit the target, yes, but on his left foot he should be doing better there. He should have put the game to bed.
What a chance that was for Madueke. As you say, an opportunity to put the game to bed. It wasn't done. And Alex Bass, I think, might feel a little bit happier about the fact that he managed to stop that down to his right-hand side. And the biggest win in a League Cup game was in 1986, Liverpool 10, Fulham 0, second round, first leg. West Ham won 10-0 as well, as Nicholas Jackson plays down the left-hand side, trying to get into the edge of the box. That was against Bury in 1983. So Blackburn Rovers are 2 goals away with 15 minutes to play for the record score in League Cup history.
I remember doing the 9-0, was it Man City Burton in the semi-final first leg?
Oh, I did that
just a few years ago.
How cold was that?
I did that.
Well, the second leg was really cold.
I was in the studio.
Oh, right, okay. It was freezing. And actually, our football editor turned up without a jacket for the second leg, and I had a heated gilet on. He sat there freezing. No, I didn't share it.
You didn't? A bit of bodily warmth, no?
I said he could have a cuddle if he wanted to. Yeah, you know me, I'm happy. I like to make sure that people are...
the team player you are, aren't you?
Yeah, I just don't want people to freeze, but he really did freeze that night. It was absolute... It was
the schoolboy era, though.
That's him, that was.
Late January.
Yeah. And it was 0-0 or 1-0 or something?
I think it was, yeah.
Second leg. Here is Gallagher. Played centrally to Bashir Humphries. 2-1 tonight, with 14 minutes to go. Sam Mann facing Scott Minto here at Stamford Bridge. Under the floodlights. Chelsea not particularly fluid in the first half after making so many changes. But in the second half it's been a little bit better. Jackson and Enzo Fernandez are on. Here is Malagusto into the penalty area. Half cleared. Cucurella, who's had a tough night really, but has played his part, especially in that second goal, even if it was inadvertently. Maatsen, who shoots from distance. Wayward really over the top of the crossbar. And it's out for a goal kick away to our right-hand side. I think there will be lessons to learn here for Maurizio Pochettino as Johnny Jackson makes a couple more changes.
Yeah, I think he would have learned some of his players that aren't ready for playing for Chelsea at the moment. Look, it is difficult when you make a lot of changes. We talked about Postecoglou and Spurs last night making 9 changes, and when you're one of those 9, you're not coming into like a fluid first team, and you've got to try and you want to impose yourself as an individual, but you also want to be a team player. But everyone's trying to learn in the same way. I think it's a little bit different here. We've got youngsters who I just feel aren't quite ready, and I think the gap between the real first teamers for Chelsea and the youngsters coming through, whether they've been bought or whether they're from the academy, I think there's a big gap there. I really do, a big jump.
Omar Bagil, the Lebanese forward, is on for Harry Pell, and Aaron Sassu, the Norwegian left winger, only 18 years of age, is on the left-hand side for Josh Nerfville. As another couple of changes are made by Johnny Jackson. Good skill by Nicholas Jackson on the far side to turn the ball past two defenders and play it into Enzo Fernandez. The ball is switched by Chelsea to the right side, and then Malagusto into Gallagher. Gallagher is being tracked by a laser, shoots right-footed down the throat of the goalkeeper, who makes an easy save. But those are lasers pens that you see that sometimes have distracted golfers and tennis players in the past, being used on a football pitch here. Conor Gallagher was being flashed from behind as he unleashed that shot. I thought they were outlawed and banned, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's down the other ends of the pitch from the Wimbledon fans. Did it go that far? It must be a Chelsea fan.
It must have been Chelsea from the Chelsea end, I would have thought. It's a long way away from the Wimbledon end.
I don't know why Chelsea fans would do that.
Seems a bit strange, doesn't it? 11 minutes to go before the conclusion of the match, and Chelsea are leading here, but they have not been at their fluent best, and they were trailing for a long time. Rangers have got a goal back in Eindhoven. It's PSV 2, Rangers 1. Who do you reckon scored the goal? Yeah, James Tavernier has got yet another one, as Maatsen picks up a loose ball on the edge of the penalty area as Wimbledon failed to clear. Eventually it's away by Ugandia out towards the far side, and then Omar Pugil puts the ball down into the right channel for Al Hamadi to chase. He doesn't get there, and Sanchez comes out and collects, and Chelsea have possession once again. 2-1. Hope for Rangers then away from home in the Netherlands tonight.
Yeah, Chelsea fans just need to be careful. They're 2-1 up, yes, but giving the ball away. Well, there was a free kick in the end on Conor Gallagher, but we've already seen the pace of Al Hamadi. I think they want to make sure the centre-backs that are not in like a one-on-one situation. Game management now, see the game out. It's not been a great performance. There's not a lot of positives to take from it, but get the job done.
Off comes Madueke, on comes Moises Caicedo to replace Madueke. Gets a standing ovation. He's on the score sheet tonight. First time at Stamford Bridge that he's done that. And the £115 million man comes in to midfield. He's just having a word with Conor Gallagher. I think they'll just change things slightly because there's too many central midfield players now on the field of play. So wonder whether or not Gallagher will go out towards the left-hand side and play as a winger, and Maatsen will come out to the right-hand side and do the same.
Yeah, I mean, he won't be quite a winger, but he will be pushed further up on the left-hand side, and, you know, almost one of those sort of two number 10s. He certainly won't be an out-and-out winger, but he will look to try and get on the ball as much as possible.
Well, reports from downstairs that when Levi Colwell came off the field of play, he was attended to by the physios and went immediately down the tunnel, which is a bit of a concern for Maurizio Pochettino, who's already got Badiashile and Fofana on the sick bed. Here is Moises Caicedo into Enzo Fernandez. They switch the play to Cucurella, who's overlapping on that left-hand side. He gets down by the corner flag and takes the ball down, looks up, finds Enzo Fernandez once again, moves towards the edge of the penalty area. Caicedo's got there again. Fernandez slides it into Jackson, back to goal, onto Enzo Fernandez. Across comes Ogundia and manages to dig out a clearance after a little bit of an overhit from Jackson, and it goes out a player on the far side. Back in it comes from Cucurella into Enzo Fernandez, then Gallagher, then Jackson, then left edge of the area. Jackson gets it back again, pokes it through towards Maatsen, and his effort is saved down low to the right by Bass. The offside flag was up anyway, wouldn't have counted, but it was a good move by Chelsea.
It was Cucurella was actually offside, and so a few passes since then, but it's much better from Chelsea in this second half, but it should be, you know, and now Wimbledon have to try and attack.
Rangers have gone 3-1 behind away in Eindhoven, and Luc de Jong has scored after 66 minutes, so problems mounting up for Michael Beale here on the left-hand side. Ali Al-Hamadi is causing problems for Chelsea, and he's played it against Moises Caicedo. It's gone out for a corner kick to Wimbledon with 8 minutes to play. While there's still only one goal in it, there is a puncher's chance for Wimbledon to get back in this game, and their fans know that. Away to our left-hand side. Corner to be taken by Williams. Away to our left, Morgan Williams, the Welshman, to whip this in right-footed. He's got 5 to aim at in the centre. Sanchez has been pushed to the floor by Ali Al-Hamadi, and the referee, Tony Harrington, has stopped proceedings as a result of that, and Chelsea will reset. And Tony Harrington's just got a little bit of sorting out to do. There's a little bit of over-eagerness. Lee Brown getting involved, trying to push, shove, make his presence felt. Just unsettle that Chelsea backline before the second successive delivery from this wide left. There was another little bit of fisticuffs behind the goal away to our left-hand side. The Wimbledon fans trying to urge their team forward. They know this is a big chance right at the end of the game. Right-footed delivery in towards the near post. Flicked away by Chelsea. Picked up by Tilly, who heads the ball back towards Ogundia. And he, inside the centre circle, sees it all the way back to Bass. Bass will kick the ball clear upfield. Did they stay on side as the ball went through the middle? Doesn't matter anywhere because it's going to land into the arms of Robert Sanchez, and Chelsea rather capably deal with that set piece and the resulting recycle.
Yeah, they've got to just try and keep the ball now. As I say, game management. You can see there's a winger taken off, as good as Madueke was. Pochettino trying to just load that midfield now and make sure that they see this game out. But you're absolutely right, Sam. All the while there's only one goal in it. Wimbledon are in this tight.
Gallagher left side, operating almost as an inside left at this moment in time, and just making sure that there's that extra number if required to keep the ball in midfield. Robert Sanchez with the ball at his feet, very good with it apparently. Has got a bit more competition now in Jordi Petrovic, who has joined this week, American citizenship, so may well end up playing for them in the long term. But he's only on the bench tonight. Robert Sanchez, who was at one stage the Spanish number one, he's not anymore. I don't even think he's been in recent squads. Hasn't been playing too much at Brighton before moving to Chelsea. Here is Matson turning and running at the edge of the penalty area. A left-footed drive towards the near post, pushed away by Bass. It was moving in the air and he couldn't do much with that. Bass, he just about got enough on it to fist it behind and away for a corner. Good run, purposeful from Matson, and unleashed what was a venomous drive from about 25 yards.
Yeah, really good play for him, finding a pocket of space, turning with it, realising he had the time, ran with it 5, 10, 15 yards. Decent strike, but I think it's one that Bass should be making.
Corner kick on this near side, Enzo Fernandez to take it, right-footed. There's a knot of blue shirts on the penalty, just back from the penalty spot, now bursting away to try and cause trouble. It's aimed in towards Disasi. The Chocol gets there first, it's headed down and eventually cleared by Ogundia over the halfway line and away to safety for Wimbledon momentarily. Malagusto keeps hold of it, plays it square. Cucurella then takes it on, plays it down the left. Immediately Matson will turn and look up. Jackson's to his left. He took too long to play it, and by the time he did, Tilly had blocked off the attempted pass, and it's back to the goalkeeper Bass, who clears upfield. Not a great touch from Al Hamadi, and it's a good turn. Good work from Gallagher, who I think's played well again tonight. Conor Gallagher, all energy. He's got great legs in him, and he's hunted for Chelsea when necessary. Enzo Fernandez from distance tries to curl the ball in towards the near corner, and flying across to tip it round the post was Bass once again. He's had to make more saves in the last 5 minutes than he did in the whole first half.
Yeah, he has. First of all, I agree with you on Conor Gallagher. I think even in the first half he was trying to lead by example, being the captain. In the second, he's still very much on the ball, but when you've got the likes of Enzo Fernandez coming off the bench, you know, he's absolute class, isn't he? And well, he's already scored, and he's really got 2 or 3 tonight.
There haven't been too many times we can say we've got good news for Everton fans. Doncaster 1, Everton 1. Beto, their new signing, on the score sheet on his debut.
So it's going to penalties, is that?
17 minutes to go, still a little while. They've got extra time there because they didn't kick off till 8 o'clock. That corner was wasted by Chelsea. God knows what they were trying to do with that. And it's cleared up towards the halfway line. Matson trying to hold on to it. Hamadi trying to get away, tussling over on that far side.
He's a handful, isn't he? He really is.
The yellow card comes out for Matson for being a little bit over-aggressive, and a late substitution incoming here, and it's going to be Ryan McLean, who scored the winning goal against Coventry in stoppage time in the last round. It was his debut when he came off the bench to get the goal, and off comes, well actually they were going to bring off Tilly and bring on McLean, and now they've decided against it. They said just wait till after this set piece that they've won over on the far side, which was given to them by that foul by Matson. They want Tilly to take it. High line by Chelsea, and they've stolen about 10 yards now, and the referee has realised that a little bit too cute and said I think you can go back a little bit further than that, and you can launch it into the penalty area. And Tilly will take it. Remember, he scored the penalty earlier on in the game. He delivers the ball into the box. This time the goalkeeper comes and claims a little bit more cleanly than he has done. And again, the ball was on for Jackson on this right-hand side, and Sanchez has hesitated.
Absolutely, and with the pace that he's got, I'd have just thrown it into an area and say, go and chase that.
Chelsea survived the latest Wimbledon attack and then come forward. Enzo Fernandez, 2 minutes still to play of normal time plus added time. Well, the biggest result of the night been avoided here, and maybe being avoided at Doncaster, where it's 1-1, where Adrian Durham is currently watching. A couple of Chelsea fans have decided that they've seen enough and they're off down the pub. Get us a pint. Me and Scott will be in there in about 10 minutes.
We'll be there.
And Ryan McLean is on now, and maybe he can come on for the last few minutes for Tilly and affect things. You never know, he might do the same as he did in the last round of the competition and do something special and grab the headlines. A mistake by Igor Kachukwu, and Al Hamadi is getting away, and he's towards the edge of the area, but he can't get his shot away with any power. That was a mistake by Igor Kachukwu, and Ali Al Hamadi got clear, ran towards the edge of the box, but never looked confident in front of goal. Here is Nicholas Jackson at the other end. Enzo Fernandez back to Nicholas Jackson. Oh, it was a good combination between the two, and it was about an inch from coming off. It was lifted over the top from Enzo Fernandez. He ran into the penalty area, Jackson, but couldn't bring it down.
I wonder how many times we'll say this season, Fernandez to Jackson goal. They look like they already struck up a really good relationship, but what an opportunity that was for Al Hamadi. You know, Igor Kachukwu looks tired now, doesn't he? And as he received the ball, I'm thinking, just play it, lay it off. He tried to get round his midfielder, and Al Hamadi, wonderful chance so late on. I'm not sure Wimbledon will get a better one.
Matson doing well again and intervening as Jackson turns the ball round. The defender Johnson gets to the halfway line. Caicedo tries to win it. Chelsea get hold of it on halfway. Enzo Fernandez plays it down the right. It's collected by Jackson now, who travels infield. He's got support from Caicedo. Lays it off to him. Infield to Gallagher. Back to Caicedo. We played 90 minutes. There's 7 minutes of added time. Seems a bit excessive. Here is Caicedo. Gets the 1-2 with Fernandez. Out to Gallagher on the edge of the penalty area. Tricks his way into the box. Takes it towards the corner flag. Brings in Malagusto, who's in the right wing position now. He moves into the box, gets down to the byline. Low cross into the near post, away by Johnson. Chelsea get the second chance to build an attack because Gallagher's taken it out of the sky. In it goes to Kachukwu, then Fernandez, and then forward towards Caicedo, who moves up towards the midpoint of the Wimbledon half. Wimbledon have to be congratulated for their stoicism in the game. They've kept in this match. Chelsea are going to win it by a narrow margin in the end.
Well, I don't know, we've still got 6 minutes left.
Here is Matson trying to get beyond Omar Bugil. Doesn't get there, and Disasi will see it all the way back to his goalkeeper. Are you suggesting that there might be late drama?
Well,
you never know.
You never know. You know, Al Hamadi just had a chance there after Chelsea giving the ball away in midfield. If he gets that chance again, he has to do better. Again, no one's catching him. He's got that pace and power. Just in the end, it was a really poor strike.
Gallagher picks it up in the centre of midfield. He's just left of centre circle when he plays it forward to Fernandez. Jackson's made a run down the left channel. There's lots of space for Cucurella, but Fernandez has kept hold of the ball. He's now played it into Cucurella. Low ball through the 6-yard box, stopped by Brown, who gets there ahead of Matson. He's just in front of Jackson, and it's behind and away for a corner kick over on the far side. But once again, Chelsea just trying to take advantage of the tired legs in that Wimbledon defence, and gaps appearing. Cucurella getting high up on the left-hand side and proving a bit of a threat.
Yeah, do you know what? That was brilliant play from Conor Gallagher. He had the ball there and he kind of gave the eyes, just beating the whole of the Wimbledon midfield with one pass. Fernandez to Cucurella, is a decent ball in. Again, good defending from Wimbledon.
Corner kick far side. Taken by Enzo Fernandez. He's whipped in towards the near post. It's headed away by Omar Bugil. It's picked up by Matson from Cucurella, who gets it back again, the Spaniard, who switches it out towards the left. Now it's with Enzo Fernandez, who whips the ball into the box. It's aimed towards Igor Kachukwu, who feels he was tugged there. Referee says play on, and it goes out. Nottingham Forest 0, Burnley 1. Mohamed Amdouni with a goal on the 90th minute. And it could be that Burnley are going through at the expense of Nottingham Forest in this competition. PSV 4, Rangers 1. Joey Veerman with the latest goal for PSV Eindhoven, and Rangers are heading out of the Champions League. It'll be Europa League football again for them. And we'll feature Rangers on the Sunday session this week because they're involved in an Old Firm clash at midday on Sunday, and the result of which and the fallout of which will bring you on TalkSport.
That's going to be tough for them psychologically as well as physically to get back and be fresh in time for that game, as big as it is. It's a bit of a blow for them, certainly financially, but in terms of quality, I think they could do reasonably well in the Europa League. Champions League would have always going to be tough for them.
I was up a Rangers fan actually last night. I was talking about what pot he would like to be in the Champions League. I'm afraid he hasn't got a pot to... Oh no. Here is Malagusto down this near side, up towards Jackson, infield towards Caicedo. It's taken on by Enzo Fernandez, up towards the left edge of the penalty area. It's taken on by Cucurella. Gallagher into the box, takes a touch, smashes it goalwards over the top of the bar. Well, that goal would have been deserved for Conor Gallagher if he'd been able to finish it off. Lovely move by Chelsea, sweeping up the pitch with a lot of one-touch football. It fell to Conor Gallagher, who took it wide of the defender, who committed himself, and then with his left foot he drove the ball over the bar. It's still 2-1 to Chelsea. There are 11 minutes at Forest Burnley leading by a goal to nil.
Wow, and what a chance that was for Conor Gallagher. And again, you're right, Sam, I think that would have capped off what has been a captain's performance tonight. It's been really good in central midfield. And he got the first touch, absolutely superb, and then he's one-on-one, just on his left foot, hit the target, and he's hit it over. I'm not sure Wimbledon have got enough now to try and create that one last chance, even though they've got just under 3 minutes. Well, a minimum of just under 3 minutes. They just look out on their feet at the moment now, and Chelsea very much in control, seeing this game out. Really should have put the game to bed by now.
Yeah, well, the last time that these two met was pre-season in the summer of 2014. The last time that a Wimbledon side played Chelsea was 2000. Actually, in that pre-season game in 2014, Mo Salah played at wing-back for Chelsea. It was that long ago. And although that Chelsea haven't gone out of this competition since 1995 at this stage, since Scott Minto was in the squad.
Well, producer Sal was just showing me, it was a two-legger against Stoke. I played in the game at Stoke 0-0. I didn't play in the game here, we lost 1-0.
So you contributed.
Not saying anything.
You contributed to that Stoke City defeat in 1995.
It was 0-0 when I played. I'll repeat myself, Sam. 0-0 when I played, we lost 1-0 when I didn't.
The facts are, it was 1-0 over 2 legs. It's a two-legged tie. You contributed.
I played in one of the games.
You did.
So where we kicked the clean sheet.
It was half your fault.
You're buying that plane.
Yeah, they weren't expected to have too much trouble tonight, and their record suggests that they don't even feature in this round of the competition very often anymore. But ultimately, this has been a test for a much-changed Chelsea team, a team that made a number of changes from their win on Friday night against Luton. 7 changes in all. It looked a little bit disjointed in the first half. There were a lot of young players who didn't really hit the heights that they would have hoped to. Cucurella struggled in that first half as well, but it's not over yet. Here's Williams, 25 yards out, charging forward. El Hamady into the box, trying to steer it past the goalkeeper, takes a nick off Disasi and goes out for a corner in the 97th minute of the game.
Wow, what a chance that was again for El Hamady. And the ball just fell to him, and I thought he could have gone past Disasi. In the end, Disasi's done really well coming across. But this is it now. 40 seconds left. Corner for Wimbledon. Can they somehow get penalties?
I told you he had a personal XG this season of 5.96 and hasn't scored yet. Here is the corner from the near side. It's a deeper one. The goalkeeper's up from the backs. Alex Bass. He tries to send it goalwards. Oh, he's lost it. He's out of his goal. And Maatsen is chasing over the halfway line. He's shrugging off the defender. He's miles away from the goal. But can he square it to Enzo Fernandez? It's an open goal and Fernandez has missed it. He's missed the target. On the counter-attack, he could have taken 3 more touches. He didn't. He steered it wide, and that's the end of the game. The last action